What's going on, guys? Today reviewing the NHL 22 feature set. Now, they're going to be announcing more features in the future, but want to give you my thoughts on what we know so far. And real quick, guys, if you're excited for NHL 22, or even if you're not, leave a like on this video. It really helps me out. First things first, if you guys didn't know, game comes out October 15th, early access October 12th. It's on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. Now, there is no cross-platform. That's a big thing. So there's going to be 4 HUT markets. In terms of ESHL, there'll be 4 different leagues going on for LG, stuff like that. Now, you can get dual entitlement, which basically means you can buy the game for both and have it on both consoles, which is really nice. If, say, you have the Xbox Series X, but a bunch of your friends still have the Xbox One, you can play the better version of the game on the new console by yourself. But if you want to play with your friends, you, of course, have that option with the Xbox One copy. Now, the only thing that does suck, dual entitlement does not come with every edition of the game. I really wish it would have. I think that'd be pretty fair just because of how, hard it's been to get the new consoles. The fact that, NHL's community isn't that big, and splitting it into 4 really hurts it. But to say everyone who bought the next-gen title also got the older version, I think that'd help it a lot. Unfortunately, the only way for that to happen is if you buy the X Factor edition. As you can see, you got Standard and X Factor. X Factor there has 10 HUT Diamond packs, which is par for the course. Over the past few years, buying the special edition of the game. 5 Ultra Chel X Factor zone abilities to unlock, 2 Be a Pro X Factor slots, 5 unlocked hockey bag. You can see Standard there only has 1, as well as only has 2 HUT Diamond packs, and the big thing there, NHL 22 for next gen and current consoles. So if you do want both editions of the game, you have to buy the X Factor edition, which will probably be $20 or $30 more. You get 3 days early access. I think you also get like 48 hours early access or something with EA access, but only for 10 hours. HUT X Factor player choice packs, you get 2 of 25. HUT X Factor power-ups, up to 4 HUT X Factor power-up packs. So I'm actually not too sure how X Factors will work in HUT. For Madden, I play it, casually, mostly draft champs and stuff. So you're interested to see how EA implements that. Hopefully it's balanced. And speaking of X Factors, guys, we actually know of 5 in total so far. Shout out to Sleeves for this graphic here. The first is Shock and Awe, Elite Shooting when coming into Deeks. We saw Matthews use this in the trailer. The next is Make It Snappy. Get a huge boost to power and accuracy when taking snapshots while skating. Sounds pretty similar to Shock and Awe, but basically you don't even have to come out of a Deek. Just while you're skating, really good boost there on your snapshot. This was actually used by Panarin in one of 3 kind of little X Factor videos on the EA site. The next is Contortionist, Elite Desperation, Wild Save ability. Again, Vasilevsky used this in the trailer. Tape to Tape, we see Drysdale use this one. Handy ability to auto-saucer and get increased backhand accuracy and reduce power penalties on passes within your vision. See everything, be ready for everything. So this sounds pretty good if you're a playmaker, especially like if you're saying centerman in ESHL, you want to use this. Pass it over the snipers who are probably going to be using one of Shock and Awe or Make It Snappy. And then finally there you have Quick Pick. We saw Seth Jones use this in the trailer as well. Little video on the site. Snatch the puck from anyone in the blink of an eye. Increase puck interception rate and range. So that one obviously is a nice one for your defenseman. Speaking of Seth Jones too, we actually saw him use like a new block animation when he was diving out. It looks a little bit different than we're used to for the LB and RB. Now speaking of new animations, guys, I want to show you a few tweets from the Clapperton NHL community manager, good friend of mine. The first, I guess I should mention, NHL 22 will utilize the Frostbite engine on all platforms, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series X. This is actually huge news, as I honestly thought Frostbite would only be on the next-gen consoles. To know that if you still are playing Xbox One or PS4, you'll have the Frostbite graphic update. That is awesome news. One thing I should mention, if for some reason you want to buy the old game and play it on the next-gen console, you can do that. So you could just buy the PS4 version and play it on the PS5, but just know like it's not going to look as good as the PS5 version on the PS5. I feel like you guys probably all knew the Frostbite's a thing by now, with like the big logo at the start of every single X Factor video. Now this next tweet's the one I wanted to show you guys. One of the biggest goals of NHL 22 X Factor is adding true player differentiation. The abilities players will have access to not only affect attributes, but unlock specific animations affecting their area of expertise. Adds new elements to each game based on who's on the ice. So like I mentioned with Seth Jones diving down to block that shot, I think that might have to actually do with his X Factor, how he blocks it. The way Matthews and Panarin shoot the puck are probably different based on their X Factor, same with the way Drysdale's making passes, Vasilevsky's making saves. So the fact that X Factors aren't just, a stat, but also affect how the players actually look in-game is great news. And honestly, I think I'm happier about the new animations opposed to just like +2 to shooting. And the next tweet, guys, is a big one if you're an ESHL fan. Custom ESHL builds are back in NHL 22. This is one of our most highly requested features. And a direct result of your feedback, the addition of X Factors adds a whole new layer of creativity and customization that you've never had before. We'll have a lot more info in this soon. So again, there are going to be more features that come for every single mode HUT, Franchise, Via Pro, ESHL, etc. Also, guys, I have a bit more information on X Factors for you. If you've played Madden, you're probably already a little bit familiar with this, but Superstar X Factors bring 2 key elements to help elevate hockey's elite and break them away from the pack. You have both zone abilities and superstar abilities. Now, I know you're probably thinking superstar abilities are the best ones. That's not the case. It's actually the zone abilities that bring game-breaking enhancements to the best players. So zone abilities would be like the 5 we already talked about. And then you also have superstar abilities, which represent upper echelon skills reserved for athletes to play at the next level. I'm pretty sure almost every NHL player will get a superstar ability. Also, at the end of this paragraph, it mentions how X Factors will not only be used in gameplay, but also seen in modes such as Franchise, Via Pro, Hockey Ultimate Team, and World of Chel. I feel like in all of those, it's still affecting the gameplay, but the way you probably access them is different. Franchise mode maybe has like to do with the player's potential. Via Pro slots, World of Chel slots, and Hockey Ultimate Team probably some sort of like consumable card. Also, too, guys, there's a paragraph up here I really want to talk about just in regards to like the Frostbite graphics. It says players will be brought to life via overhauled player likeness, cloth animations, and uniform micro details. So basically the jersey should look a lot better now. I'm pretty sure with the Frostbite engine, like the jersey model is separate from the player model. I don't know if that was the case in the previous Ignite engine. All delivered in high resolution to make every stitch visible. Alongside these advancements will come enhanced spatial awareness for players to track and react to the world around them. So that's really good. You all often have like guys run into each other. I can see the spatial awareness definitely adding to like better gameplay. Right here it says enhanced player detail and visual fidelity, on ice gameplay. We'll see an upgrade with the new physically accurate stick interactions. That's a huge one. I'm wondering if now like you put your stick down, the puck's actually going to stop, or maybe your 2 sticks can't go through each other when you're skating next to someone, or stick through their legs kind of thing. Just one of many gameplay improvements coming to NHL 22. So that all sounds really cool. We've actually got even more information about all that on the NHL 22 IGN article. First things first, I actually want to show you guys some of the screenshots from this game. Like, it just looks so good. Right here we have Sean Couturier, followed by Crosby. I think that's like a shot from the trailer. Draisaitl there looking pretty good. Mark Giordano as a Seattle Kraken. If you guys watch my Mark Giordano as a Seattle Kraken. If you guys watched my Seattle video, you already would have seen this one. Seth Jones there as a Chicago Blackhawk. I mean, look at that. You can see the center ice reflecting in his visor. Like, that's so cool. Erik Karlsson there. Kokoniemi, I'm not going to lie, probably has the worst game face of all the screenshots I've seen so far, but it's not terrible. There's definitely worse ones in NHL 21. Malkin there, not so much a game face shot, but more like the snow coming off his skates as he does a hard cut there, protecting the puck with the backhand. Marchand looks pretty good. Matthews there, I think he looked even better in the trailer when he's wearing the blue jersey at center ice, ready to get that penalty shot or shootout shot, whatever it was. Seattle Kraken Arena, again, if you guys watched my vid, would have already seen that, but it looks spectacular, I think. Same with the Boston Bruins Arena there, TD Garden. And after the 2 arenas, you actually have a couple more players. Alex Pietrangelo there on the Vegas Golden Knights looks solid. Mikko Rantanen on the Avs also looks really good. Now, there's some interesting quotes in this IGN article, guys. The first one here, we want to prioritize not losing features and be able to add features, so we've really had an eye on the lessons that we learned from previous generations, transitioning and falling into that trap. Basically saying NHL 15 they messed up with how many features they lost in the transition to next gen. That shouldn't be the case in NHL 22. We still have ESHL, we still have Via Pro. Franchise hopefully isn't bare bones like it was in NHL 15. So that is good news for sure. Moving to Frostbite, the NHL team is rebuilding all of the arenas, so that's why they look so good. They're completely rebuilt in terms of the graphics. New lighting engine, allowing for enhanced particle and visual effects on the ice and elsewhere. Character models are also completely being redone. Should be a relief to fans tired of the caveman-like players populating many of the teams. So again, this is all good news. But while there will be enhancements across the board to the acting visuals, don't expect big improvements to animation or player interactions. That kind of sucks to hear. Basically saying it's going to look a lot better, but it's going to play pretty similar. One thing we didn't show is procedural awareness, so eye tracking, being aware where the puck is, facial animation. I should mention, totally forgot to in my trailer breakdown, but I noticed when editing, Zibanejad, his eyes actually move separate from his head. I feel like in NHL 21, I noticed often like with McDavid, if I'm doing like a replay or something, he's skating down and his eyes are just constantly looking where his head's looking. But in the trailer, we actually see Zibanejad, his head's looking this way and his eyes go this way. So I guess the eyes are modeled differently from the head, similar like I said with the jerseys. I think that's awesome. Just going to make it so much more realistic, especially if you are doing close-up replays for some reason. These are all new features specific to the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Okay, so if you don't have the next-gen consoles, you aren't going to get, the eyes moving on their own. But in terms of overall gameplay animation, that hasn't really changed yet. I would expect now that we're on the Frostbite engine, we want to really drive that immersion and build on what we have. So like I mentioned, it sounds like it's going to look a lot different, but in terms of gameplay, it's going to be quite similar. That is a little sad to hear. You'd hope the gameplay changes were on par with the graphics, but as long as there's some changes to go along with really good graphics, I'm not, terribly upset with it. NHL 22 takes a page from Madden. This is going to be talking about all the X factors. I feel like we've covered this quite a bit. I'm just going to scan here and see if there's anything I missed. So some new information I found in here, guys. It says when Matthews meets the prerequisites for activating his zone ability, he'll get access to perks like Shock and Awe. It doesn't say what the prerequisites are, but based on Madden, I would guess it's probably something like take 4 shots on net in a period. He then gets the Shock and Awe activated. It could be something tougher. It could be something easier. I'm sure they'll probably balance that throughout the year if they find, certain ones are easier than others. Another thing cool here, it says that the top 50 NHL players will have zone ability, including goalies. Again, the zone ability is the best one. So 50 different players getting one. I think that's, pretty good amount. Basically 2 players a team. Not quite, though. I mean, there's some teams like my Red Wings, Arizona Coyotes probably only deserve to have one guy to get one of those, if even one guy, honestly. Another thing it says is just about Frostbite presentation, introducing AR elements, intended to be eye-catching, keep the game flowing, but no improvements to the 3-star presentation, so you're not going to have like the guys get on the ice after the game, or even players walking on the tunnel, no improvement there. And that kind of sucks to hear, as I feel like that's something that could have made really cool. But it says they're going to continue to expand on the visuals in the coming years. Now, this last paragraph is really interesting, guys. Kwong also revealed that World of Chel would feature an always-on dressing room to make it easier to gather with friends. Not much else was revealed about franchise mode and Be a Pro. As I mentioned, we haven't heard anything about that. Complete silence. Say that they'll include more scenarios and support for the Seattle Kraken, but that more info will be shared soon. So I assume the more scenarios, of course, will be for Be a Pro, and then Seattle Kraken is now in franchise. I am curious if we'll still have expansion team mode, because if we do, that means you're adding a 33rd NHL team to the league, which could actually be a lot of fun, honestly. I think as well, the always-on dressing room is a huge addition to World of Chel. I think one of the biggest complaints people had, including myself, a casual ESHL player, is just how many clicks it takes to get from the main menu, even the main World of Chel menu, to the lobby or into a game. I don't know if it was NHL 21, maybe NHL 20, it was something like 7 or 8 clicks to get from the menu to into the game. That's just way too many. So hopefully this always-on dressing room fixes that. And you know what, guys? I stand corrected. We do have some franchise mode news. Unfortunately, it is not good news. As you can see right there, NHL will not include GM Connected. It says we took a really long, hard look at this feature, and then we had to prioritize the move to Frostbite, and that the feature is on the list of long-term projects, and we know the community is asking for it. So if you guys are really hoping to get GM Connected in NHL 22, unfortunately, that is not going to happen. Personally, I'll say that roster share is higher on my wish list than GM Connected, and we don't see any news of roster share yet, so that means it still could be happening, as I haven't confirmed it's not in the game yet, like GM Connected. So fingers crossed we'll be getting roster share in NHL 22. Also, too, guys, at the bottom of this last paragraph, it talks about how Hockey Ultimate Team progress will actually be transferable if you, say, buy NHL 22 on the Xbox One and then upgrade to the Series X. Only your Hockey Ultimate Team progress is transferable. If you start a franchise mode, Be a Pro, even I think your ESHL progress on an old gen console and then jump to the next gen, it is not transferring over, which kind of sucks. Now, if you guys are going to be one of the people that buys NHL 22 on the current gen console before upgrading to next gen, this next bit of information is really going to help you out. Again, I just want to reiterate that if you don't play HUT, it doesn't matter. Franchise, Be a Pro, ESHL, right here it says the only thing that transfers over is HUT progression. So the way it's going to work, basically, you have to start on the PS4 before going to the PS5. You can't try and like transfer reverse, basically, like get the game on the PS5 and then transfer your stuff to PS4. It only transfers from current gen to next gen. It says users can protect up to 20 player items. I feel like we're in an expansion draft here. And one coach, the coach is like so irrelevant, in their current lineup, and transfer those over to a new console. Only users that have created a current gen team before creating a next gen team, and only after the feature becomes available in December, so you can't even do this until December, are able to protect and transfer the current lineup to NHL 22 on next gen. So I could see this still being used quite a bit if, say, you buy the game on PS4 and then for Christmas you get a PS5 with NHL 22 on PS5. This will obviously help you out. The rest of their HUT team progress and inventory will be calculated and evaluated for determining the number of tradable packs to be rewarded in Ultimate Team on their new consoles. So this is kind of sketchy, I'll say, because like, let's say you have a card and you just know it's worth a lot of coins. Is EA going to value it at the market price? Is it going to value it at like the coin range, the low end, the high end, and mid range? I'm not really sure. If you've been saving a bunch of coins to buy players, you now lose all those coins and you get tradable packs, but you could get unlucky. And like, we've all seen my pack openings. I'll spend millions of coins on packs and not get those millions of coins back. So you know, getting packs equal to your coin total is really not the best deal. It sucks that they're not just going to transfer your coins over. Oh my gosh, guys, I just read the last sentence. It gets even worse. Once content is transferred from current gen, that content on next gen will be converted to untradeable for security reasons. So if you have a sick team, 20 players, all tradable, and those guys are worth 2 million coins, you've also got 3 million coins in the bank, you've been grinding hut, your 2 million coin team is now worth 0. You have the players, but they're all untradeable, and the way hut works is overall scale quite rapidly. So within 3 months, if you're playing quite a bit, you know, those players, you can't even sell them for anything. They're just dead players to you. And like I said, your coins, if you don't get lucky in the pack, are essentially all gone as well. So it is nice that they're doing something, but I do really think they could have done better here. And it does say this one-time content migration will be available in December, so you can't do it until then. Also, guys, if you're wondering, there's absolutely no cross-platform play in NHL 22. I mentioned this in a previous video, but if you're on Xbox One, you can only play Xbox One users. You can't play Series X. Also, there's no like Series X versus PS5 stuff. That'd be awesome, because the community is pretty small. It's going to be split into 4. If it could be one community, everyone playing each other, that'd be absolutely amazing. As well, the HUD economies are also split into 4, so maybe you're thinking gameplay-wise, you can only play Xbox One people, but all Xbox is one HUD market. That's not the case. It's 4 different HUD markets. I'm not really sure how it's going to affect it. I can't see it being that great, but who knows? I think, you know, NHL 15, there was still 4 HUD markets. You had NHL 15 on 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, but a lot more people had the next-gen console at that point, whereas these consoles have been a lot harder to get. So if I'm playing an Xbox Series X, I could see the market not having a lot available, which means a lot of card prices are going to be very expensive. Certain cards you need are going to be really hard to get. Gonna be hard to find a match potentially. We'll see how that works out, I guess. Can I carry over progression back and forth between generations? I already mentioned this is not a thing. It's a one-time, only from current to next gen. Now your pre-order bonus does carry over. So let's say, like right there, it says you're 2 out of 5 weeks for your pre-order bonus on Xbox One. You get the Series X. You get the next 3 weeks on next gen. So you don't miss out on your pre-order bonus. That'd be absolutely terrible if you did. And I think that's it, guys, for the FAQ there for the HUD migration from current gen to next gen. And I think that's it for my review of the feature set so far. Again, this isn't all the new features for the game. They've already come on set. They're going to be announcing more things for all the different modes. I'm sure they'll be announcing more gameplay changes, stuff for Be A Pro franchise. We haven't heard anything about HUD yet, really. ESHL, even aside from X Factors. So very excited to hear all the other new features coming. So far I'd say I'm pretty excited for the game. Obviously some stuff was a bit of a letdown. Hopefully some of the features still to be announced are really going to blow us the way. Personally, I feel like a lot of times I'm more excited for just small quality of life stuff than actual, like, you know, big back-of-the-box features. But time will tell. We'll see what they do there. That is going to be it, guys, for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you guys have not subscribed yet, hit the sub button. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.